Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be reading Chapter 9 of Just Dance by Patricia McLaughlin, Past and Present. I woke up in the night shivering, and I pulled the quilt around me, even though the night was warm. Outside my window were stars and a big moon. My father calls it a strawberry moon because some believe it is time for their fruit to ripen. In the morning, I had a headache and a sore throat. I could hear my mother in the shower doing her scales, up and down again, then arpeggios and trills. I padded down the hallway and found Nate and my father sitting in there. My father put his cool hand on my head. "You sick, Sylvie? You're very warm. No work for you today, I'm afraid." "No, I'm not riding with Bud. He had to go to court." "I hope there's no crying while he's gone," said Nate with a grin. And then my mother began a new song. I leaned my head against the wall. My mother's performance posters would have called it lyrical and moving. "French," said Nate. "Plaisir d'amour," said my father, smiling. "The pleasure of love." He listened for a moment. "That was the very first song your mother sang to me when we met." He closed his eyes, and I thought about my parents before Nate and I arrived to clutter up their lives. My father began singing so softly along with my mother, only Nate and I could hear. "My love loves me, a world of wonder I see." He looked at me with a shy look. "I can't sing like your mother." "It doesn't matter," said Nate in a wise old man voice. And I had a sudden thought that everything Nate said, I should be saying. I was older, and I should be wiser. My mother surprised us all by opening the door suddenly and catching us listening. "I sang that for you," she said to my father. My father smiled at her, standing there wrapped in her bath towel, her hair still wet. "Thank you, Min, but I've noticed the cows love it too." "They do," said my mother. "I think they've been producing more milk. Have you noticed?" My mother and father looked at each other. It was as if Nate and I were not there, listening to them and watching them be romantic right in front of us. Nate broke the silence. "Maybe you should hire yourself out to dairy farmers all around the town," he said. My mother and father laughed a lot. "I'm going back to bed," I said grumpily, leaving them laughing in the hallway. I slept until afternoon, dreaming unwanted dreams of dancing and singing and people being romantic. My mother came in with some soup and a thermometer. She popped the thermometer under my tongue. She brushed back my hair to feel my forehead. "You're over 102 degrees, Sylvie. I'm calling Dr. Britt to see what he says." "Oh no, I don't want to be sick," I said. "I know. Let's see what Britty has to say." I had a smile. My mother secretly called Dr. Britt Pretty Britty because he had a huge mop of black hair that he oiled. "I'll get better without Pretty Britty. I will," I said. My mother put her cool lips on my forehead for a moment and then went away. I woke to find Nate sitting on my bed staring at me. "Hi, Nate. You okay?" "I'll be fine." "The sheriff came by on his way home from Cheyenne and brought you something." Nate handed me a newspaper. "It's marked," he said. "It has Mother's name in the article." I read the article out loud. "James Grayston, acclaimed tenor is coming to sing on June 28th in the Cheyenne Concert Hall. Mr. Grayson has performed in halls over Europe and in America, once singing with soprano Melinda May, now Melinda Bloom of Casper, Wyoming. James sent the tickets, said Nate. That's 3 days from now, I said. I forgot it was coming up soon. I had a strange feeling between excitement and dread. Maybe it was because I was sick. Maybe not. Maybe she'll want to go back to singing on stage, I said slowly. I thought about that concert poster upstairs in the attic, the one of James Grayson and my mother on stage in London or Paris, maybe Rome. Ha, of course not. You'll see an old friend from the past, said Nate, excited. I looked at Nate. How come you're so different than I am? I asked, not expecting an answer. You have preconceived notions, said Nate. I don't. I was so startled I could hardly talk. What do you know about preconceived notions? You're only 8. Soon to be 9. Mr. Hurley taught us in school that if we have preconceived notions, it often keeps us from the truth. The truth? Maybe it is your truth and Mother's truth all mixed up in your head, said Nate. I put the newspaper down on the bed and stared at Nate for so long he finally said, What? I could only shake my head because I had no words. I stared more at Nate. Get the poster from the attic for me, Nate, please, I whispered. That was when I started coughing and had trouble breathing. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you.